Who's ready for the boiled, scrambled, fried, poached, cracked eggs? Hey, Spurs, it's Jamie. Welcome back to another video. Fast Food. I don't know, but welcome either way. I'm very glad to have you here. And today we are having a look through that lovely old transy subreddit of egg in real life. These are basically trans memes, but for people who have just newly discovered their transness. Their eggs have cracked. Welcome in. I'm not going to waffle. I'm just going to get straight to it. You ready? Since it was April Fool's, my sister did makeup for me as a prank. She's the only one who knows, and I went to my drama classes with it as a prank. Just totally cis prank to pull. I did get some mean looks on the street. Assholes. But I did get called a pretty princess, jokingly, and actually kind of pretty, not jokingly, during drama class, so I don't regret anything. And nor should you. I hope you had a wonderful April Fool's Day. Is April Fool's Day could that be the second LGBTQ plus Christmas alongside Halloween? Because I feel like so many people, because of the ability to dress up, are able to explore their identities for the first time during Halloween. It's almost like dressing up to be yourself, like hiding in plain sight kind of vibe. This gives the same sense of like April Fools, because you can just test things out and then be like, no, I'm not ready for that reaction yet. Maybe April Fools is like the gay Easter if Halloween is Christmas. It's around the time of year when the left-wing government makes an emergency order to continue on the ban of puberty blockers. Major side-eye. What the frick is going on? Let's just all remind ourselves that puberty blockers have been used in the treatment of kids with precocious puberty for decades, and trans kids as well. There's still currently no issue with prescribing puberty blockers to cis kids with precocious puberty, because it's not an issue with the medication. People are having an issue with helping trans kids. It's just transphobia. It's not scientific, it's not medical, it's not in the best interests of kids. It's actually against the best interests, because gender affirming care is life-saving and it really does improve mental health, including puberty blockers. So yeah, why are we doing this? Come on. Yeah, transphobia, that's why. Are you sure you're trans though? Yes, brain, now shut it with the doubts. But you weren't dysphoric enough about your chest in the shower earlier. Think about it. That is a creepy brain. This is what always shocks me when so many transphobes are like,
oh my god, it's contagious, all the kids want to be trans, everybody's trans these days, blah blah blah, it's trendy.
This is what trans people actually deal with. A butt ton of self-doubt and worry, and a lot of that is born out of the societal pressures of constantly being told, no, you're not trans. No, you're not really trans. No. There's a lot of self-exploration that goes on for a vast majority of trans people. So the thought that transphobes are just sitting there going, oh, they just wake up one day and they're like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to be trans? Let me do that and let me get on hormones by 6 o'clock. I will be on testosterone before dinner. It's just very odd the way that they view it. And I think the more you dig into these transphobic arguments and the non-logic of what they say, the more you realize they just don't know what they're talking about. And then why are we listening to people who clearly don't know what they're talking about? It's so confusing. Please, just my one piece of advice to anybody who wants to be an ally, be a better ally, just learn more, is listen to the trans community, because you wouldn't want to learn about any other marginalized group by listening solely to the people that oppose that group. You wouldn't listen to homophobes about what it's like to be gay. Doom. Is gender affirming care free in Latveria? Yes. I'm not nerdy enough for this. What is that? Doom. It's a fictional county appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. Oh, Doom. Okay. Dr. Doom. Right. Okay, is this saying yeah, Dr. Doom supports trans people. Yay! Whatever that means. I feel old. The euphoria from having shaved legs. Godzilla. The dysphoria from it growing back. Yeah, hair does tend to be quite pervasive sometimes, doesn't it? I do not have this problem personally, but I can see why some people might. For me, it would be like the dysphoria from shaving my beard. The euphoria from it growing back. That would be mine. The body and personality I wish I had. Oh, Anne Hathaway in The Princess Diaries. Okay. The body and personality I actually have. The Grinch. Oh, bless. The Grinch. Very different vibes. He is very green, yes. But he gets way more positive by the end of the film, and he finds a community. So don't be grinchy about being a Grinch. But I'm sure you are not a Grinch. Coming out on Trans Visibility Day. No, we do not come out on Trans Day of Visibility. No, why not? Because we come out on April Fools. See what I say about April Fools? And it's the day after TDOV. Wow, that's cool. I didn't hate how I looked for 5 seconds. Am I cis? My dysphoria wasn't awfully debilitating for a microsecond. Does that mean I'm actually cis? Am I not trans enough? See, constant questioning of being trans enough, and trans people being like, am I valid as a trans person because X, Y, and Z? Because I feel like I should feel this way because society is telling me this. If you are trans, you are trans. If your gender is different to your assigned birth sex, you are trans. You fall under the trans umbrella. You don't feel dysphoric for 5 seconds, you are still trans. I just think there's so much pressure at the minute of like, no, you have to fit neatly into this box, and you have to convince everybody that you're trans enough, and you have to be like all the other trans people that you've seen and everything, and all of this pressure. And it's just like, just be yourself. It's okay. Like all these stupid idiot transphobes can just go do one. They can go slip on a banana skin. They better. This you. Oh, that's cute. Oh, I recognize this Pokemon, but I don't remember what it's called. Egg Pokemon. What are you called? You're so cute. I'm going to absolutely ruin that name. Togepi or Togepi. Do you know, I'm going to Google pronunciation. Let's see how you pronounce this. Togepi. Yeah. Are you a Togepi? Are you a cracked egg that's all happy that you're busting out of that shell? Let me know. I chickened out and didn't come out to my doctor. I regret my actions. I think a majority of people do not come out the first, second, or third time that they try to come out, especially to certain people. Do not feel like a failure. Do not feel like you have regret. You were not ready in that moment. It's okay. You will be able to say it when you're ready. Maybe think about like writing it down, because then you can either give it to somebody to read, or you can read it out, and it stops you having to think about the phrasing or formulating the words in the moment if you're really nervous. But honestly, like, give yourself the patience, give yourself a break. It's okay. You don't need to have that much pressure on yourself. If you went to come out and it didn't happen, try the next time. He may not be a shonk, but can he be my honorary blowhigh? A dinosaur, of course. Look, there's Blowhigh. Hello little Blowhigh. That is a very cute dino plushie. And seeing as dinosaurs are cool, transphobia is not. I'm not wearing my t-shirt today. Why did I not wear that? That would have been perfect. I have a little t-shirt that's like, dinosaurs are cool, transphobia is not. And homophobia ones as well, because, you know, that is also not cool. Yes, this dinosaur can absolutely be your honorary Blowhigh. If a shark becomes a shonk, what does a dinosaur become? Comment. The radical lifestyle of a trans chick. So radical. What do they do? Oh my god. Are they breaking into women's bathrooms and gyms? Are they, I don't know. That's pretty much what they're accused of doing, because transphobes are weird. What are they really doing? She showered. Yes, showering. How radical. She gets dressed. These are all very typical behaviors for somebody getting ready. She plays video games. A very common and popular hobby. She uses the bathroom. Wow, trans people need to pee and have bowel movements too? Beware the trans chick. I feel like that would be a good title. Beware the trans chick. I feel like the trans community has just been so built up in some people's minds as like big, dangerous, and scary. Oh my, lions and tigers and bears, trans men, trans women, and non-binary people. Oh my. When in reality, trans people are just people trying to live their lives. If you have bought into this whole idea that trans people are dangerous in some way, then that is very much a you problem. And if it were not actually damaging trans people right now and causing harm to the community, it would honestly be so laughable. Does that mean where like the person puts like the pole and the bike and then falls over the handlebars and is like, it's your fault, even though they did it to themselves? And then there's something else about someone drawing something scary and then being like, I'm terrified. It is like transphobes have drawn a monster on a piece of cardboard themselves. They've fully created and fabricated this monster, and now they are waving it around in front of everybody, screaming, going, oh my god, how terrifying, and they've blamed the monster on trans people when they are the monsters all along. So please don't trust a transphobe. A co-worker misspelled dehumidifier as dehimifier. I don't want one of those, but I could see how some people might. Can someone please make one for real? Maybe we could do like a dehurifier for early transition trans masc people as well. We can have one of each. Yes, I'm transphobic transphobic. How bold of you to just come out with it. Yes, I dehumanize people for my own enjoyment. It's good that you admit it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's everything wrong with that, Gary. Even your dog knows it. Good old Rufus, getting rid of the transphobes one pillow at a time. I do not condone violence, but dogs can do as they please. They're above the law. Egg in real life be like, get ready to crack a new egg. I just really love how this has become such a thing. Like, and I don't know if it was always a thing and I was just completely oblivious to it, but I see so many comments now of people being like, oh my God, you cracked my egg. Hey. And I'm like, yeah, like you cracked your own egg and like you take ownership and be proud of yourself for your own journey. But if I could be like any kind of comfort or a little bit of support or guidance along the way, then I'm very proud to have been able to do that for some people. And I know like the transphobes will watch that and be like,
oh, Jamie makes people trans.
No, Barbara, I crack the egg. I don't make it. So yes, thank you for watching the channel. I hope that you continue to enjoy it. No, honestly, the whole reason, aside from wanting to document my own transition personally, but the whole thing of why I started making YouTube videos in the first place was to try and reach other trans people and humanize the trans experience and help other trans people not feel so lost. So if I have done that in any tiny way for you watching this video, then that honestly means the world, because that is my whole intention with everything I do. And it is still my intention now to just make trans people feel less alone, be able to laugh at something, have the tools to break down transphobia, find a community. I don't know, just have a little space on the internet that you can come to get away from the shit, or learn how to handle the shit, or learn what to say back to the shit. So welcome in, little potatoes. I'm very glad to have you here. Me as a kid pretending everything I drank was a magic potion that would turn me into a girl. I was like, me as a kid thinking that if I just wished hard enough, I would just be one of the boys. You know, if I play the prince in every school play, I will actually be a boy, right? That's how this works. That's the trade-off. Yeah, cool. I genuinely did play the prince. If I wasn't playing the prince, I was a narrator, I was never a tree, or I was just not in the play. Me, when someone tells me I'll look like a girl if I let my hair grow any longer, really? Tell me I'm shooketh. I have a feeling this was a trans femme meme. I have a feeling that was the intention here. Well done. Great skills of perception. How pink kryptonite turns Superman into a woman. I need it. Give me the pink kryptonite. How heteronormative. Pink kryptonite turns Superman into Superwoman. So the blue kryptonite would turn him back. Is the green kryptonite non-binary? Is that, you know, the true power is with the non-binary people? All the trans fans just like, give me the pink kryptonite. I'll take a serving of the blue. Unrealistic transition goals. No, we do not do that. We have our own goals for our own transition. Yes, for ourselves. I compared way too much in the early days of my transition. I was like, oh my God, that's what he looks like. 3 months on T. I'm 1 month. I got 2 months until I look all like buff and I have a beard. And it's like, oh no. Yeah, everybody's a bit different, aren't they? What's the realistic one? What we doing? Hair long enough to make into a waterfall pony. Now is when you know that I have never had hair longer than about here, and whenever it was here I literally did nothing with it and then I very quickly got it cut again. What is a waterfall ponytail? Show me. What is that? Okay, there's like 100 different styles coming up. Is it just cascading? Is it just a ponytail that's like rather than like boop, boop? Is that the vibe? It kind of like flows down the back. I don't know. All of these hairstyles look very accomplished. Well done. Gendered correctly while thrifting. Gained 10,000 trans XP. I want that to be a real thing. Can we have like a card game that is this, or like a trans top trumps or something? And it's like the finding the ultimate gender affirming thing. So I don't know, if you're looking at like trans mask ones, it could be like getting your first binder is a 7.5 out of 10. And you throw that card down and then your friend puts down getting top surgery 9.2 out of 10. Haha, they beat you. That is how you played top trumps, roughly, isn't it? Kind of the vibe. But that would be cool. A trans top trumps. A little egg. Crack, crack. Oh, no thank you. Did they put the egg back on? I feel like the egg cracked and they're like, no, no, thank you. Let me get back in my little shell. And then no, the shell disintegrates. You cannot hide anymore. It's happening. Your egg hasn't just cracked. It has just full on turned to dust. Trans. That's why. It had to happen at some point. Go for it. Go forth and trans. My subconscious rebuilding my egg every time it crack. This is separate to the one before, I believe. Again, with the whole ridiculous belief that it is just easy to be trans and everybody decides really quickly and it's like a whimsical thing of like, yeah, I feel like being trans today. How funny. How novel of me. Look at me, Kevin. When in reality, it is such a deep process for most people. Like, a lot of people are very like, oh my God, trans. Yes, that's me. I've figured it out. That isn't the case for everybody. And even those people, there'd still be like a lot of internal thinkings going on and thought processes and stuff. It's just, I don't know why transphobes think they know trans people better than trans people when they don't even know which way round trans man and trans women goes half the time. You know? Please sit down, be quiet. My brain, you need to come out to present feminine. Me, I know what I must do, but I'm afraid to do it. You do not need to come out to present feminine. Your gender expression and how masculine or feminine or androgynous you present has nothing to do with your identity or the way that others would identify you, like how you would want to be referred to. It may sway them before they know how you want to be referred. I would not say that coming out as a prerequisite to presenting in a way that makes you feel comfortable, if that's the order that you want to do things in and you want to experiment with your expression before you start coming out to people. There's also a lot of trans people who don't really switch their presentation a huge amount because your gender identity and your gender expression are two very separate things that for a lot of people will be quite similar and converge, but there's a lot of people where they're totally different. There's loads of cis men who present really femininely, loads of trans men who present really femininely, there's loads of cis women who present masculine, and loads of trans women who present more masculine, and all of that is okay. Me then, gay, I'm assuming this is a kid being called gay. I'm not gay, I like girls. Me now. This proves nothing. This proves nothing. Okay, the label did not work back then. They did not know they were trans. Oh dear. Coming out on March 31st, Trans Visibility Day. Coming out on April 1st to create chaos and confusion. Sweating. Decisions. I guess, like, depends on what route you want to take. Do you want to be very serious and today is TDOV and ta-da, I'm going to be visibly trans now? Or do you want to be more like whimsy and keep them guessing, like, I'm trans, is this an April Fool's? You'll find out the answer when I know your reaction. Oh, that's quite dark. Yeah, whatever you're most comfortable with. There's also, is it International Coming Out Day? It says National Coming Out Day is Saturday 11th of October. I don't know for what nation, I don't know, but 11th of October is a coming out day somewhere. I'm too old to transition. I'm old enough to not care what others think. I don't think I understand this meme. I understand the Matrix and the blue and the red pill, but they're two different options, whereas these sound like, oh no, I guess it's like one is saying, I'm not, okay, no, I've got it, sorry, I had a moment, my brain clearly just fell out my asshole, but I'm back. I'm too old to transition is like, I'm not going to transition because I'm too old. But then on the other hand, I'm old enough to not care what people think, so I'm going to do what I want. I want to just say, you are never, ever too old to transition. Honestly, I feel like it must feel incredibly daunting. If you are further into life, perhaps you are married, perhaps you've been married, perhaps you have children, maybe even grandchildren, and like maybe wider social networks to come out to, work, things like that, but you are never too old. If you feel ready, if you have discovered who you are and you are in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, higher, because I have heard of people coming out at any age. I'm sure that there was a trans woman like in the last few years who came out and she was in her 90s when she came out. And honestly, it's never too late to start living as your true self. If you think you're too old at 60, you're still gonna know you're trans at 65, but you'll have just spent 5 more years not living as your true self. So if you're in a safe situation and you feel ready and you feel like you would want to live as your true self, then I really hope that for any trans person, person, whether they're older or whether they're younger. And all people generally deserve to live life as who they truly are. So yes, including transphobes, they deserve to wither away from all the cortisol and anger raging through them. Is this a sign? Yes. Triangle HRT is shown below. It is a sign. If you figure it out, then HRT pops out from a drawer somewhere. There might not be a drawer around you. It's just a magical drawer. You need to answer this correctly. Every trans person needs to solve this mathematics thing. I can't remember what it's called. It's not been that long since I was in school. It has been a while. It has been like 15 years. Oh my God. Every trans person has to solve this exact maths problem before they can start HRT. When you go into the gender clinic appointments, they don't actually ask you invasive questions. They don't ask you about your history. They don't give you a counselling appointment. None of this stuff. No, they just give you this problem. Could you imagine? Dressing up and acting very masked. Being told I look like a lesbian or a tomboy. Feeling upset. Feeling upset? You feel upset. I wonder why. I remember when I first started dressing in a way that made me feel more comfortable. So in the UK, we have a slightly different school structure. I know majority of my audience is in the States. So give me a second. I'll just explain things. In the UK, we have primary school, which is age 4 to 11, and then we have secondary school that is 11 to 16, and then we have college, which is 16 to 18, and then university is 18 to whenever, or take a gap year or whatever, or several gap years. We love a mature student. And in the UK as well, a majority of primary and secondary schools require a uniform. Some colleges do, but a majority don't. And so when I was in secondary school, I didn't go to a lot of secondary school because I wasn't very well, but when I did go, I was in a uniform. Love that for me. And I had a lot of other things going on. I wasn't really exploring my identity at this point. When I started college, I was better. I was doing good. Also, college gave me the freedom to not wear a school uniform. I could, for the first time in my life, choose my clothing like 24/7. And that freedom meant that I kind of switched around my entire wardrobe. I reverted back to how I used to dress when I was younger, which was really mask. Like I would only wear sports clothes and like clothes from the boys section. And so when I started college, I was a bit less sporty. I completely switched my wardrobe around to be completely top man, to be fair. It doesn't really exist in its own entity anymore, does it? That closed. But that then led to a lot of people just referring to me as a lesbian. I didn't have to say anything. I didn't even like officially come out as a lesbian to very many people at all, but everybody just assumed I was. So I was like, well, sure. Okay, we'll roll with this because I don't know what else is going on. I know that I'm attracted to women and I just feel immensely uncomfortable all of the time. So that must be what being a lesbian is. And then I found the term trans. But I relate to this. This was a really long, waffly tangent all about me. I'm sorry. I hope that was not boring. But it's because I really relate to this kind of dressing in a way that made me feel comfortable, just being in a way that made me feel more comfortable. And then everybody just being like, oh, so you're a lesbian then? And that making me feel discomfort for some reason. Not because I don't like lesbians. Lesbians are great, wonderful. I'm just not one. So therefore it made me feel a bit uncomfortable to be called one, but I didn't realize that at the time. So it was all a very interesting time of my life. Me, I'm not trans. Also me, HRT timeline. Yeah, anyone? What's the time scale for getting the HRT? Well, it's however quick you can solve that maths problem with the triangle, That's the timeline. Yeah, the ferocious Googling. Hands up in the comments. Trans people in the comments. LGBT plus people in the comments. If you've taken some form of quiz that's like, am I trans? Am I gay? Am I bi? Please, Google quiz. Tell me who I am. Life is confusing. Yeah, that's a thing. And there's also like, back on that point of, there's a lot of thought goes into it for most trans people with their identity and stuff. And it's not just like, I'm trans because it's cool. I was willing to find a reason to not be trans because at the same time that it did feel like a big relief. And I was like, wow, this really explains so much about my life, like completely. It was kind of like a whoa moment for me. It was also incredibly scary. And I was like, no, I can't be trans. No, let me take some quizzes. And the quiz god of Google will tell me I'm not really trans and I've got it wrong and I don't need to panic. But no, those quizzes, I have a feeling they kind of tell you a lot about yourself that you're Googling them in the first place. I think that's the first answer that you've given. I'm trans. Hello. Me trying to relax after a long day at work, remembering I'm probably trans. It's always there in the background, creeping up on you. No, I joke, but it is, yeah. If it's something that you're not ready to deal with or you don't know how to deal with, it can be tough to sit with that knowledge on your own for a bit. I would greatly encourage like working on accepting that about yourself and finding community and finding support and opening up to people that you feel will be accepting, because it will make a world of difference to be able to like verbalize it to other people, even if that is like typing. Sure, I may have been assigned female at birth or whatever, but in school I was often assigned homework and I was bad at that too. I love that. I mean, I was a bit of a teacher's pet. I was quite good at homework and I was too scared of getting in trouble to not have my homework in, but very, very bad at being assigned female. I failed that one. The devil watching me get bottom surgery after I promised him my firstborn child in exchange for unlimited V-Bucks. So the devil is Rumpelstiltskin now, isn't that who you promise your firstborn to, like Shrek? I get, but I mean, what's the devil gonna do now? I think I might not be cis. Oh, you think? What is that Pokemon? I recognize that Pokemon as well. I feel like it's got the word slow in it. Pink sloth-like Pokemon. Oh no, there is actually a sloth Pokemon, so that has thrown it off. Pink bear-like Pokemon? That's it. Well, what are you called? Don't just show me a photo without oh, that's a really cute Jigglypuff. Oh my god, Jigglypuff is incredibly adorable. Show me the one I want. Slowpoke! I got half the name. I'm so proud of myself. Yes, Slowpoke thinks you're not cis as well. Me, just chilling with my family. My brain, come out. Me, no, this is such an inconvenient time. Do it. Do it now. You must come out. Is it April Fool's Day? The very trans urge to come out, right? You just sat there and it's like, I could tell people right now. I could say it. It could all be out in the open. Oh my god, my life could change forever. In what way? I'm not sure yet. Do you want to do it? Are you ready? If you're ready, why not? Chill family time sounds like as good a time as any. A video, how it feels to be out of the egg. Aww, is that a little dancing Minecraft chicken? It looks like a duck, but is it a chicken? Is it from Minecraft? Please, it's very cute. I love the Minecraft bees. I am obsessed and I want a plushie Minecraft bee. Thank you, that is what's gonna be on my Christmas list. When eggs finally realize they're trans. It cracked, the egg is no more. I'm surrounded by the dust of the shell that used to protect me from the knowledge of who I am. Yeah, that roughly sums it up. Me, but am I really trans? My browser tabs, my trans story, my coming out story, gender dysphoria, quick, easy, winged eye, I'm assuming eyeliner, trans voice lessons, understanding gender, MTF estrogen. I'm not trans, but I'm Googling MTF estrogen, sure. Guide to feminine style. What does gender do? Dysphoria, feel like? That's where I would go with that. This is a totally cis search history. What are you worrying about? Nothing. I feel like I said worrying really weird. Yeah, no, that's not very cis at all, is it? Me talking to someone I think is interesting and awesome off Hinge. Hello. What was that noise? That was the creepiest noise I've ever made. I'm so sorry. Let's start that one again. Me talking to someone I think is interesting and awesome off Hinge. Yay! That's a better noise. Crippling dysphoria. I'm gonna you up. I'm gonna ruin your day. Yeah, that's very much dysphoria. There to piss on your day. You, valid. Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. Smooth. You're valid. Yes, you are. Anyone watching this? You're valid as a person, but if you're transphobic, your views are not. Go away. The masculine urge to be a lesbian. Well, could be. Don't see a problem with that. Huh, your name's not on our list. Of course not, because I don't belong here. Oh, this is hell. Okay, so there's the devil doing the intake at the gates of hell. And there is somebody who has just entered hell who's like, mate, I don't belong here. What are you doing? I don't belong here. I'm a politician who introduced legislature that harms trans rights. So proud. Oh, what an arsehole. So proud in hell. I don't belong to be in hell. I just ruined lots of people's lives. Why am I in hell? The devil is like, you what? That's what he's thinking. Extra hell. He gets marched down. Look at the sad little face of the transphobe who ruined the lives of so many trans people. That is where you're going to end up. Honestly, genuinely believe that. I'm not a religious person. I personally do not believe in heaven and hell or God, but never say never. If something like that did exist, then of course, 1000%, absolutely, transphobes would be in hell. Why do they think they're getting into heaven? Why? I don't think it matters. If there really is a God who is like this all-loving being who wants the best for the subjects on earth, but tests them sometimes with things like war and famine and pandemics, you know, because why not? He's bored up there. I do think, like, why the hell would the people just trying to live their lives be punished? And the people being hypocrites, being arseholes, being mean, impacting negatively the lives of other people for no reason other than their own bigoted, closed-minded views and their own boredom? I don't know. They should really take up knitting or watching paint dry or trimming their lawn with some scissors. It would be so much more fulfilling than transphobia. Never mind. They are obviously the ones that would end up in hell. If there were a hell, bigots are going there. And the more impact their bigotry has had, the deeper into hell they're gonna go. I'm sure we can all think of quite a few names that are gonna end up in extra hell. Nice and toasty down there. I like that one. That was great. What a lovely one to end on. Hell for the transphobes. I feel like I'm going to get some very upset and angry transphobes in the comment. Hello, welcome. Thank you for the view. I really appreciate it. It helps pay my bills. If you leave a comment, that does even more. So, you know, you can go ahead and do that if you want. If you like this video, think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I really do appreciate your support. I've recently started Patreon, so if you want to come and check out there and support in another way, if you want to, you can, but there's absolutely no pressure. The names going up here are some of my wonderful Patreons that you can see. And I also want to give a shout out to my top tier patrons, members. I don't know what you're called yet. I'm still learning. Night Soul, Sugar Joe, Jill B, Eldon K, Nesta, Dorothy Mickey's Tax Collector, Jaden Cricket, and Max Volmer. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching this video. Much love. I will see you next time. Goodbye. I did not hit stop record. I'm a professional.